A 3-star 5 cost is meant to be rare. It's an instant win. It normally requires level 10 and a lot of gold. Well, I hit one in my very first game of the new set. No, seriously, it was genuinely my first game. Enjoy. Yo. So we are starting this one out with both Yasuo and Soraka as our chosen gods for the game. Yasuo offers hex upgrades and Soraka offers health. So hex upgrades would be like a fire hex, a water hex, an earth hex. You've seen them before as augments, and Yasuo offers them as his boon. I think that's what they call it. I might be wrong on that. Soraka normally offers 8 HP, if I remember correctly, although this is my first game of the set that I'm playing here, so I had no idea what to expect this time. Now that I've actually played a couple of games, I do know Soraka offers 8 HP, but here I was just reading the traits. I didn't have any idea of any of the traits at this point. You might have to be a bit patient because this game I probably do sit in planner quite a lot. I just read everything. Fate Weaver was a bit confusing to me first time. Instead, I just decided to put in Rogue, which is the assassin of the set. When rogues drop below 50% HP, you retarget. I saw Urgot was a 3 cost here, so I think I probably play around the Urgot. But yeah, you can read the Rogue here. First time they fall below 50 HP, they slip into the shadows, and enemies target a nearby unit, preferably tanks, and they also gain innate AP and AD. Primordian is like the swarm game mode trait of this set. So Primordian summons monsters that will do more damage based on how much damage the Primordians do. And as you get more Primordian star level, the monsters do more damage. They aren't targetable, they just do a bit of damage and then disappear. Just holding my pairs here. I mean, as I said, first game of this set, so just playing basic fundamental TFT. We hold our pairs, keep our frontline traits active, and see what happens. I want to keep the Urgot here just because he's a 3 cost and he has 3 traits, so he probably fits into the trait web quite well, was my idea. He's a mech unit as well, although the other mech units are, I think, 4 cost with Asol and the Mighty Mech. But I had no idea at the time. Okay, here we see our first augment, and let me tell you, if you are going to play PBE, if you are going to play your first game of the set, just click the hero augment. Just click the hero augment. It's simple. It gives you direction. You know where you're ending up. It's just very simple. So I clicked the Pike hero. He is a psionic voyager, I believe. So psionic is a trait with 5 units, and they gain items depending on how many units you have fielded. So if you have 2 psionic, you get 1 item, and if you have 4 psionic, you get 2. Here I'm reading the Meeple trait. It's basically just potential. And I like to put him in the planner here. Just make sure I know which units I'm playing. Yeah, so you'll see I field 3 Meeple and Voyager. Voyager gives you damage amp and a shield to the Voyager units. Pike's ability, Contract Killer. It's actually insane. Your entire team has a 10% chance of getting gold on takedown, which scales with AP. Decided to slam the Rage Blade here just because it's good into a scaling fight, and thought maybe it would win me the fight. But yeah, so your entire team has chance of gold, and then if Pike gets the kill, it's actually a bigger chance of gold. But just innately getting that 10% chance of gold is super nice, and you'll see I managed to scale up a lot of gold here. I mean, from the intro, you know already, like I get to level 10, I hit a 3-star 5 cost, spoiler alert. But you'll see he ramps up a lot of gold, and this Pike hero augment really was the best way to generate gold. It was a lot. So I decided to play the vertical psionic units. You'll see Master Yi, Sona, Pike, and who's the other one? Victor, I think. I think Victor is also a psionic unit, so that's 4 of them. There is one more which I missed, but you'll see it earlier in the video. And so I decided to put them in planner, make sure I keep an eye out for it. And then also thinking about the 3 Meeple here, just because Meepsy in the front line is a Voyager similar to Pike. and I got the Poppy too, so not a bad build-up of units. Gonna see if Pyke farms any gold. I'm actually unfortunately not getting any gold early game. Once you put items on him is where he really shines. I don't think Rageblade is actually a good Pyke item. I just slammed it early game for tempo. Probably could have been Last Whisper, but I wanted to keep the crit open for IE. So yeah, I went for the Rageblade slam, and it goes on Sona later. Yeah, you can see here, we see, who is that? Honestly, I've played the set and oh, it's Gragas. It's Gragas. I played the set and I didn't recognize this thing. The one thing with TFT actually is I've always enjoyed the base skin TFT sets, like the set we just played. It's a lot less learning to do when you look at a unit, but obviously it does look good. So there's a trade-off. You'll see here, we are just playing into a level 5 guy, but the Pyke wraps round backline. What his ult does, I think it picks a low HP within range, low HP unit within a certain range, and then ults them. And if it kills, he actually resets his ult, similar like to the League of Legends Pyke ult. You'll see here we get our first set mechanic. We either pick Soraka, which is actually Yasuo, or Evelyn, which is actually Soraka. And it's just the playtest. So yeah, there's some mistakes there. I mean, they're gonna fix it up, I'm sure. So I either take a fire hex or I take Evelyn. I actually didn't know this before clicking the hex, but it says paint a fire hex which empowers champions within. I thought it would be random, and I thought this could be okay backline, it could be okay frontline. I'm not 100% sure, but either way, I'd like to take the risk. We'll see what happens. It's good strength early game, and the more kills I get, the more gold I get. So I thought I'd just click that, and if we get frontline, we high roll. If we get backline, we'll use it for board strength, and we'll get Pyke to farm us some gold. It's not too bad. You'll see you get a long choice here. And so here is where I learn, oh, it's not front row or back row. I get to choose. And I nearly instantly used it on Pyke, but actually in TFT, you want to be left-hand side if you're a melee carry. If you're on the right-hand side and they have a unit top right-hand corner, they will automatically target your melee carry. Whereas if you are top left, the unit will be split between Poppy and Pyke. And since Poppy is a tank, you'll actually target the Poppy instead of the Pyke. So if you're ever in a spot where your default positioning melee carry, just go top left. It makes more sense. You're less likely to die when you play that Warwick this set, or when you play any other melee carries. Just go top left most of the time. Echo reroll this set was a good example of that, where if you went right side and you had like a mirror matchup or something like that, their Echo would just hit your Echo. Yeah, you'll see here I add some meeple units in because I see that you can actually duplicate units on 7 meeple. You get like a hex on your bench and it takes 2 turns to duplicate a 2 cost. So I thought, oh, hold on a second, maybe I can use meeple to help myself find Pyke 3. That was the idea there. You'll also notice that 2 players were AFK this game. 2 of the PCs crashed during the playtest, so unfortunately there were two AFK players this game. I think they are both the players in last place. Yeah, so I add the meeple units in, add the Pyke in, Gragas is Psionic, and he's my 2 cost that I'm likely to see because I'm probably not going to see a Victor, was what I was thinking. And I thought this looks like it kind of makes sense. You'll see later I actually decide to go out and not play meeple because to get 7 meeple, you need to be at least level 7. And yeah, to reroll Pyke, you probably want to roll on 6. So later I decided to drop the meeple just because I didn't think it would reasonably be possible to get to the duplicating stage without rerolling for Pyke. So also when you play hero augments in general, be it PBE, be it like whenever you play this set, just generally you'll want to put the vertical trait for your hero augment specifically. And since Pyke isn't a meeple, it's probably a bad idea to add some meeple units here. But yeah, as I said, first game of the set, so it definitely makes a misplace. Nice to see Gragas in the shop there. That's a psionic unit, and you'll see the psionic unit happening here. So this is our first item, sympathetic implant, maybe. think it said, I said sympathetic implant. Well, did it? Wait, was it actually? Never mind. Whatever. It's an AP item. It gives you mana regen. Not great for Pike, but it's good for the AP holders in the comp, and I mean, it's a free item, so you may as well put it on him for now. Do spend a bit of time in the planner here. I mean, it's good for you guys to at least see the units. And yeah, that's the Send TFT classic coming in hot right there. Double Pike from neutrals into Pike 2. Yep, that's right. Even during the playtest, I think my account was a little RNG bugged. I mean, honestly, when you see me hit this 3-star fight cost, you're actually going to be shocked at how RNG bugged my account must have been. It was cinema. Yeah, so we have Master Yi, Gragas, Victor, Pike, and Sona in shop. I think here's where I realized, like, hold on a second, it's probably not a good time for Meeple. Slam the implants, and then I consider Morello, and then I realize, hold on a second, if I slam Morello here, I will have Morello plus Fire Hex, which is never a good idea. Got the double belt here. Consider Warmogs, but in my head, I also want IE Stride Breaker or Guard Breaker. That's the combo I wanted on Pike. Make sure he can crit on his ability, and then also give him some amp on the crit. Was what I was thinking. Yeah, here's when I go down to the 4 Psionic, and then I consider what I'm going to play for the rest of my board. I like left here, healing 12%. Of damage you deal to tacticians is pretty good, and then also just the Omnivamp. I have Pike 2. It's probably my best option, but I am tempted to hit the reroll just because I want to see more augments. It's the playtest. I want to see if there's any new augments, but yeah, I do decide in the end I should probably play as strong board as possible and like the best augments I can see. Hitting Pike 2 was such a high roll that I should probably take advantage of it. And healing up also means I get to get later in that game. When I hit the Pike 3, you normally stabilize on hero augments. That 2-cost reroll, you're stable on 2-star stage 3 normally, and then when you hit your 3-star unit, you're stable for stage 4. Hitting those gold generation hero augments are normally pretty good for this because you get to tempo quite well with it. Yeah, so trying to figure out what my board's gonna be. I have Pike, Victor, Gragas, and Master Yi. Without the Sona, assuming I'm not hitting Sona, those are my 4 Psionic units, and I'm trying to figure out what units are going to be my front line is my first idea. So Gragas is a bruiser, so I thought, okay, if Gragas is a bruiser, then maybe I'm meant to play Pantheon, who's also a bruiser, and then synergizes with Sona later, I believe. But yeah, I decided instead maybe I'll play Voyagers, because if I play the Voyagers, I'm giving my Pike more damage amp. Still unsure if I end up playing Voyagers by the end of it, but I do decide here. I think I will play towards the Voyagers. And finally, I slammed the Warmogs instead of the keeping the belts for Stride Breaker, because I realized that I get a lot of amp from Voyagers. So I probably don't need the Stride Breaker if I have the IE, unless it just gets handed to me for free. I mean, that was the idea with the Warmog Slam. I also don't need any belts for anti-heal because I have the Hex. I'm not slamming my... Oh, here we go. Yeah, nice. Good slam. We're into Talon 2, who is a rogue, and you'll see he drops aggro from the Pike because he is a rogue when he went down to 50% HP. And we're also into Briar, who's another rogue. Looks kind of good. I do end up losing here. I think Gwen and Fizz might also be rogue, so I think this guy is playing full rogue, Mr. Balotelli, which gives a lot of stats. And he also has 3 pretty good items on a Talon, so he's 6 Talons at this point. It looks like he's playing reroll, which is not too bad for me as long as he buys 2 cost 2. Here I see either an Ice Hex or Implant Size. I decide to go with Size just because it means I can buff my Pike even more. And this is my first high roll of many this game, by the way. 4 cost Mighty Mech, and this unit is a Voyager unit. Huge for me. It means that I actually have a front line for my Pike, and it means that I have a synergy to make my Pike a little stronger. This was a really good unit, and as I said, yeah, it's definitely not the last of the high rolls this game. Decide now, okay, I'm gonna add in Mighty Mech here. was like, I want the mech units. I'll make my mech and he can be my front line. You'll see this section is, yeah, it is quite long, this selection. But once everyone picks, the timer goes down to 5 seconds. So it can be as short or as long as you want, really. And when I close the team planner, we will see Urgot in shop, which is pretty good because that is my synergy with Mighty Mech. Still trying to figure it out here. I think I decide to go with Victor, maybe for Channeler, but not 100% sure. Mighty Mech. Okay, I meant to drop, in hindsight, now that I know the game, I meant to drop my backline units or drop the Poppy. I probably meant to drop Poppy +1, but I was a bit lost. I didn't know the traits of every unit. But yeah, so I kept the Poppy in, who's actually not really giving me any traits, I don't think, here. Oh, she gives me Time Breaker, I believe. Oh, no, or Meeple. No, she gives me Meeple. Yeah, she gives me Meeple, which I don't have active. So she's actually just giving me no traits. But yeah, drop Poppy, drop Veigar here, most likely. Mech pair, very nice. And we see the Victor, who is another Psionic unit. However, I need 4 Psionic to be able to get my next item. And unfortunately, I do not have that at the moment. So the Victor doesn't really do too much here. You'll see I finally figure out to play the mech a little later, but it does take me a little bit of time to figure it out. As I said, I was a little lost at this point. And by a little, I mean a lot. You'll see the Urgot transformation of the mech on enemy boards here. That tank is what Urgot turns into when you use the mech on him. So the way the mech works is there are 3 mech units, and there is like a mech creator item that spawns in when you play mech. You use the creator item on one of your mech units, and that unit now takes up 2 team size, but gives 2 mech traits. So you actually only need 3 mech units to be able to create the mech, because you use the mech item on one of the mechs, and they count as 2 mech and 2 team size. So I don't think I knew this yet, but here is where I realize, I believe. And you'll see on the left now, I have that item that selects the mech. So here, use this on a mech to change their form. So I thought you needed 3 mech. I was like, wait a second, I need 3 mech. So how come I can change this guy's form already? Make the guard breaker as well. Super nice for me here. Really nice items for the pike. And so I remove the pike, get the items on him. Psionic item as well, I think. And this is where I read transformed mechas take up to 2 team slots. I think this is going to confuse a lot of people the first time they play the set, like having to take off a unit to create the mech. But once you've done it once, it's fine. And now I do have actually a real board. I have Bruiser in, I have 3 Voyager in, and I have the mech in, which is super nice. 3 Voyager buffing my pike here. I am probably meant to roll a little bit more here, but I was just fixing the team comp. 4-1, 5 pike, 77 gold. It's not a bad spot to be in, especially on a comp that prints gold. You'll see he wraps the backline here, so it is lowest HP unit within a certain amount of hexes. I think it's 2. It might be 3. 1 roll for good luck. Oh, wait a second. I've 2-starred my forecast on level 6. That's pretty good. Wait a second. That's pretty good. So the mech's actually really tanky. He's a sick unit. And I never got to try carry mech. But I really did want to try during the playtest BT Titans Sterax and see if he acts like the mechs we've had in the previous set where this guy just turns into a beast AD carry. But yeah, I didn't manage to try that during the playtest, unfortunately. Look at tons of stats here. Just generically good combat augment. Gives my pike extra stats. So I thought it would be pretty good here. And I want to roll, but I don't want to roll too much is what I was thinking. Until I'm certain what units go in my comp, it's kind of a mistake to roll. Because If I'm rolling and then I skip units that should be in the comp, obviously it's bad. But yeah, this 2-star mech on level 6 is a mega high roll, and I think it's really what stabilized me pretty hard. You'll see Gwen 3 on the enemy board, Spuzzy. Pretty good unit, but my Pike... Oh yeah, no, actually I think I do lose this one. My Pike just gets killed, and unfortunately the mech doesn't get targeted. I think at this point I realize I need to not have my mech take aggro last. I think the way I'm positioned right now, a unit on the right of him, yeah, you'll see the Gragas is on the right of him. And at some point I realized that's pretty bad. I need my mech to be like the guy that gets targeted. So I bring everyone else back. One off Pike, so I decide to dig here. I got 2, not bad. Cost me a little bit, but we do find it in the end. I make Victor 2, and then I kind of realize, hold on a second, I'm not able to play 4 Psionic until I hit Master E, so maybe I should just play more Voyages. And yeah, you'll see I backline the other tanks now, and I think with Pike 3, this is where we really start going infinite. Pike 3, I could slam the QSS honestly on the bench and move the Psionic item, but I decide to keep it. He wraps the backline here, and he just starts printing, man. He just starts printing. 3 gold spawned in, 4 gold spawned in. We're looking real good. 4 gold in 1 round, and we won. That's 5. We're gonna start making a lot of money from this point. Wintex or a Giant's Belt. But if I click left, it actually means that I get Yasuo's favor, which in my head seemed better than clicking right. I get the tier, I get 30% attack speed, and I get Yasuo's favor. And here, the second high roll of the game. I'm in last place, so there is a bit of a catch-up mechanic, and I have the chance of seeing a 5 cost from the option here. Unbelievable to find Sona off this. Mainly due to the fact that Sona is the 5 cost Psionic, and I would have been able to play 4 Psionic had I kept that Master Yi. Bit of a mistake to sell it, but who am I to expect that I'd hit the random Sona here? Insane to get the Sona from this, honestly. So we go and pick up the orb. We're now 2 Yasuo picks and 1 Soraka pick from our carousel choices, although it's not carousel anymore. And that means we're on 4-7, 2 rounds time on the neutrals for stage 4. We will get the Yasuo augment, which we'll see what it is. I believe it empowers your hexes and also gives you extra gold if you're only 2 Yasuo picks. Reforge it. Huge hit here. Shojin on a Wintex. That's extra attack speed on mana gen attack item. Super good. And then I read Sona's ability. Hull magnetic debris at units, and then after 5 casts you rip all the debris off the units and it all hits a specific singular unit. So she basically ramps up a little and then does a lot of damage to her single target. You'll see here Pike just starts printing. That's like 6 gold I just spawned in. Not bad at all. And we start getting XP, or getting money to pump XP now. We're just keeping the Voyagers on bench. I don't know if this will actually be the comp that people play in Pike Hero. I feel like hitting a mech 216 is a little unlikely. So, and normally when you play 2-cost reroll, you roll something else as well. So it could just be that people reroll Gragas 3, which is a 2-cost, Meepsy 3, which is a 2-cost, and Pike 3, who all share the, well, not all of them, but Gragas shares the Bruiser trait, or the Psionic trait with Pike, and Meepsy shares the Voyager trait with Pike. We'll see. I mean, Meepsy might be a unit that relies more on having Meeple activated. I'm unsure. But yeah, the comp that I made, if you hit the mech on 6, looks really good. It looks really good. My front line's super strong. I get that vertical Voyager in, which buffs the Pike. And then having that AP backline carry on the Sona. I mean, this is a one-of-one game. It probably wouldn't happen often. Yasuo's Blessing here, 50% increase on hexes. And if you only have 2, extra gold. That did not look like 12 gold to me. I don't know why I got so much, but maybe it was meant to be 16 or something. But yeah, got the Even Shroud, got the Warmogs, got the Spark, and have anti-heal through Pike. And we get the command mod off the Sona. Fabricate, it's a free item on whatever unit I want. I don't slam this immediately on the Sona here, even though I could take it off, because I would like 1 psionic unit before I proceed. And if I hit the psionic unit, which I do, it means that I can remove Pike's item by benching him, nearly used a remover, put the AD item on him, and then also put the psionic unit item on Sona, and then finally I get to just put a random item on Master Yi with the command mod. And here's when I decide to actually move the front line forward again. I'm not sure if I keep it there permanently, but yeah, I do in fact move it forward again. Just because with the Master Yi now on the board and the bruises upgraded, I felt like it didn't want my Sona to get wrapped. We'll see here, the Pike actually gets on the back line. Massive ult. Really cool hero augment this, honestly. Like, it's actually a sick augment. Prince Gold executes enemies and gets resets. Like, what more could you want? It's really nice to be able to have played this on my first game. I think it helped me learn the set a lot. You'll see the psionic items actually get upgraded as well when you get 4 psionic in, which is super nice. Makes the AD and AP item a little stronger. Looking at my Voyagers, I think I want to play 5 Voyager here if possible. And you'll see the mech's ability. He gains durability, heals 1.2k, attracts enemy projectiles, and then deals damage. Pretty cool. He's got a load of HP when you make him the mech, which is sick. Just a massive tank that also does a bit of damage. And since he attracts enemy projectiles, I'm assuming that just means he like taunts for the duration of his spell. Or blocks them. It's basically a Galio ult. Or a Galio W. Yeah, super nice win for me here. We beat the rogue reroll guy and it's not even close at this point. I'm just reading the trait to this point. You'll see Voyager divs amp and a shield. Voyager's gaining more. We've had similar traits to a lot of these before. Vex is a doomer, so a lot of the 5-coster set don't really have traits. They kind of have their own trait. Sona's kind of one of the few that actually does have a trait, being a psionic shepherd. But you'll see here, Vex is actually a magic marksman. Every time she attacks, Shadow Strike a nearby enemy, dealing 30 magic damage. When an enemy is struck 5 times, Shadow Strike them again. Vex also has the trait Doomer, where she marks all enemies when she is on the board, and once they're hit by a unit, she steals 10% AD and AP from them. Super good. Bear in mind, it steals from them. So I think they also lose AD and AP. The screen goes black for a second. I'm sorry about this. I tabbed out for a second, and I think when the screen went black, I also decided to change to borderless here. Yep. Yeah. I was like, I do not want that to happen again. So I changed to borderless, and here we go. Stage 5 carousel. This is my first ever stage 5 carousel. A really nice change in my opinion. You get to choose one of 3 items, an item anvil or 16 gold. A lot of the time, you would have too many items at this point and you would really prefer gold. Now you have the option to actually take that, which I think is really sick. Before stage 5 carousels were guaranteed items or emblems. But yeah, I thought it's really cool that you can actually select gold here, because I have both my main carries itemized, right? I'm already 3-item Pike, I'm already 3-item Sona, and I'm already 3-item tank. So there's not much point of me taking an item just yet. I instead think I would prefer to push level 10 and see if I can get a 2-star legendary on the board. And then maybe think about itemizing them, but the gold was definitely more useful right now. So I thought that change was actually really cool. You'll see I'm still winning rounds mid stage 5. I think the Sona's pumping a lot. And here I see that Pike actually has 100% chance on 3-star to farm gold if he's the one who gets the kill, which is really sick. Check Sona mana, it's only 25. Pike mana is more, so I decided to use the mod that reduces the mana on Pike. These Sona mods only last 2 turns, I believe, before spawning in a new one. It's either 2 or 3 turns. And yeah, so I like the mana reduction mod a lot, but you won't see it often, even though it's very strong. It's probably one of the ones you do want to see. Playing into Spuzzy here. He's on that Gwen 3, and it's looking like the Space Groove is going well for him. But you'll see I just wrap his comp here. And this is one of the powers of Pike with his targeting. Even when the enemy has a mega frontline, it really does seem like you can find a way to get backline access. And start printing. 55 gold, level 9. Not a bad spot to be at. I think... Oh yeah. Oh yeah. That is... Even when I watch myself back, that is a classic Send TFT eye roll. Look at that. Sona 2 from the shop. Sona from the selection. Mighty Mech from the selection. Mighty Mech 2 on level 6. Double Pike from Krugs. Didn't even have to dig that deep for Pike 3 as well. I mean, it really is unbelievable. Wait till you see me hit this 3-star 5+, man. It's illegal. It's illegal. Sona 2 is such a big upgrade here because it just means I'm never going to have to roll at 9. Not that I was planning to, but I just never have to roll at 9 now. The neutrals still always give you an item. I wanted to check if you could itemize the Shepherd guy. You can't. I wanted to vow him so he casts quicker and my allies get AP and AD. So what that little Shepherd does is when he or she casts, they give your whole team 20% AD and AP for the rest of combat. Or it might just be AP for the rest of combat. We see this Pike ults going off, and we'll see if it actually hits the... Yeah, see? It hits the Bard here, even though I'm on the Rammus, so it must be lowest health enemy within 2 hexes. I mean, I guess I could have read it while I was watching this video and confirmed, but yeah, I'm going to confirm it now. It's lowest health enemy. Yeah. Infinite gold printed. Looks real good. But yeah, I've mentioned this before, but I really like doing the voiceovers post-set because I do have more info. Can you imagine me speaking right now while I'm playing this game? I'm like in planner 24/7, no idea what's going on. It would be chaos. And this is where I think my tuber is ruined. Drop a thumbs up. This guy's hit 3-star ASOL, a 4 cost on level 8. And the team planner goes down to 4 units, 3 4 costs, and a Sona because I am not about to get my tuber ruined. I am not about to get my Pike Hero tuber ruined. Another useful thing to learn, cannot use mods on champions in combat. Makes sense because this mod says command a unit to stun the enemies within 1 hexes when the unit dies. Would not make sense. I mean, it would make sense to be able to do that during combat, but I can understand why they wouldn't let you do that, or they wouldn't want to let you do that. You'll see enemy Bard, Mr. Kami TFT, kidnaps my Sona. Thankfully, I still get to keep it, but he creates a copy of it. I was a bit worried because that might mean that one Sona's out the pool here. Unlikely to be able to find more Sonas, and I definitely can't find Sona 3 if he's alive. We get the 4 Voyager in with the Karma, and I just scout around. Oh, I changed my scouting hotkeys here. If you've never done this before, do this right now. Scout 1 to 8th place. Just put it on 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I said it. My bad. Okay. Yeah, anyway, you've got to do that because that is probably one of the best changes I've ever made while playing TFT. It's such a nice quality of life improvement. We tagged the ASOL 3, 3-star 4 cost. Surprisingly close though, right? I mean, the ASOL just has so much HP that it's not actually close, but it does look very close. Kind of a crazy unit, to be honest. It reminds me of Rebel ASOL, if people know from the Space Pirates set. Very cool. I think this is kind of a throwback to that ASOL. Find 2 Jins here. And I decide, you know what? I think I'm going to go for Jin 3 as well while I'm at it. So I decide to hold the Jins. It is going to be Exhaust mod. Not terrible. And obviously I always click gold here. Like from these spots on the carousel, or not carousel anymore, but the stage 5 and 6 selection. Yeah, I think it's always a gold pick in this spot at least. I mean, I've got to beat a 3-star ASOL, so the more gold the better. Decided to add Jin to the planner. 2 Jins. I scouted, didn't see any Jins. So you can keep that as an option for another out to beat the ASOL guy. I'm level 10 with 53 gold. It's not likely that I'm gonna hit a 3-star 5 cost, but it is possible. Got to put my psionic item on the pike here, so we just slam it right now. Kill another player, and we are into the top 3 now. With 31 HP on 6-6. I mean, that is 2 lives. There's really no way it's 3 because we're going into stage 7, but it is definitely 2. We find 3 Jins. Decide to replace the Kami here and just randomly put a Jin on my board. Mainly because I know I'm going to be rolling down for either Sona, Jin, or one of my 4-cost units. So it just makes sense to get my board ready and have pre-sold some units. When you're playing on 200 ping and you're playing the first game of a new set, you're either going to miss units on your roll down or you're going to roll down pretty slowly. There's not really any in between. So the best thing you can do is always like prepping your board as much as possible. We do tag the ASOL guy here. And unfortunately, my pike dies pretty soon. It's pretty quickly. So I'm not actually farming much gold this round, which is kind of bad for me. And I see that my ghost actually ends up losing to Spuzzy. Not great. It's okay because like there is a chance that now it means him surviving means I can tag him. You'll see I do roll pretty deep here. 5 Sonas, 5 Jins, 6 Sonas, 5 Jins. Not bad. Like we're kind of close. And without unlocks, you don't have these like random volley bears and stuff like that littering your shops, which is quite nice. So we do have the 6 Jins, the 6 Sonas. There's a lot less legendaries this set compared to last. So it is a lot easier than you might think to hit a 3-star 5 cost. It's not easy, but it's easier. 7 Sonas. And here's where I decide to sell, because I don't see who I'm fighting next, and I just get scared that I might tag the ASOL. Roll, roll, roll. 7 Jins, 8 Jins, and then double Sona shop. Is this guy the luckiest TFT player in the world or what? 1 off Jin 3, we hit the Sona 3, and here we go. We get to see the Sona 3 in action. Sometimes during the playtest, they don't have their gimmicks inbuilt, but thankfully, on my first game of the new set, I hit the 3-star 5 cost, which has the inbuilt gimmick. Very cool. No one else during the entire playtest hit a 3-star 5 cost, except for me. So that was really cool. And a little spoiler for the future, guys. I did hit 2. Not during this game. But I did hit another 3-star 5 cost. Crazy that I hit a prismatic trait, 2 3-star 5 costs in 12 games of the new set. I went out to Alicante to play test with these creators in person. It was really nice to meet them all. But I was the only guy who hit a 3-star 5 cost. I hit 2 of them in a prismatic trait in 12 games. It was genuinely insane. You'll see here Spuzzy types nice first game of the set. It was my first game, and we did hit the Sona. I was a little worried that she might die because it's not always like tried and tested. She got pretty low from the ASOL during the animation, but we do manage to win with that 71,000 damage Sona ult. Thanks so much for watching. Bye.